resellers and sneakers go hand in hand. Now, some people argue there's too many coming out and there isn't a story or it's not like done the right way. If this shoe came out 3 years ago, you would be drooling over it. But now, because it's 3 years later, you don't like it. It's like, what? If I buy a pair of shoes and I don't wear them in the first week, I'm selling them.
Wow.
Just because in my head, why just have them just sit in the closet when somebody else can appreciate them?
All right, guys, got Yeezy Busta here today. No Yeezys on though.
Not today.
But you got the mask.
Of course.
Always.
Had to.
Since 2015, you've been wearing it, right?
Yes, sir. December 15th, 2015.
Did you do that because you were calling people out and you want to be safe?
Well, to be honest, when I started my page, I never even showed any part of me whatsoever, let alone my face. And there was like this guy that threatened to sue me, but then I realized he couldn't sue me, so I just kind of was trolling him in a way, and I started wearing a mask that I cut up out of fake Yeezys to troll him.
Yeah.
It was actually the same fake Yeezys that he was wearing, so that's how it all started, and then I just never took it off, and yeah.
Wow. So you called him out for wearing fake Yeezys, and he wanted to sue you. For what? Defamation, I guess?
Defamation, yeah. He said, oh, no, everything I buy is legit, and I have more money than you, and I'm like, all right, man, maybe you do.
Yeah, people got really,
yeah.
What's the word? When you called them out, they got really defensive, some of them, right?
A lot of them, yeah, a lot of them. But some of them were cool about it. Actually, most of them would reach out to me and be like, "Oh, I had no idea."
Yeah, some people I genuinely had no idea about.
Yeah, a lot of them got their. I mean, if it was like a rapper or celebrity or something, they would be like, "Oh, my stylist got them for me. I had no idea." Which
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I mean, at least they reached out to try to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And why do you think people cared so much if they were fake or not?
It's people have to maintain a persona, or an image. And obviously if one thing's fake that they have, then what else is fake,
Fair enough.
And then it goes into the whole thing about, fake clothes, then fake watches, fake jewelry. And then it's like, are they a fake person? Like personality wise, there's a few people that are like that, but that's
right.
okay.
Because if you have fake shoes, the odds of you having fake clothes and fake watches are probably high.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, I've said this a million times. Like, I genuinely don't care if people wear fake stuff, like, at all. Like, my biggest thing is when people wear fake stuff and pretend like it's real and they know it's fake. That bothers me because a lot of people spend a lot of money on items that they work really hard for. And I feel like the people that buy the real stuff don't really flex it as much. But I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't care if people wear fake stuff.
Yeah.
People think I'm like, like
a hater.
Yeah, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's some viral pages on Instagram like fake watch buster, and they probably think they're hating, but they probably have a similar mindset to you.
Yeah, actually, he was the one that inspired my page.
Oh, so he was before Yeezy Busta.
Yes, he was.
Oh, I thought you were the first one. Okay.
No, he was the first, and I wanted to start a page called Fake Yeezy Busta, but the username was taken, so I settled with Yeezy Busta.
Yeah,
and we're here today.
But I noticed you don't really be busting people anymore.
It's been a few years, yeah. It's been a while. I really kind of focused on other things that I'm passionate about. I still love sneakers and everything, but the charity aspect for me was like the most important. So
that's your main focus right now, charity stuff?
Yes. I've always wanted to give back to the community as much as I could. And, I'm blessed enough to be in a position where I could do that.
Yeah.
I did one pretty big project a year ago, working on a few others behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's my passion. That's what I really care about.
No, that's cool, man. I'm working on opening mine up this year or next year, and I'm just brainstorming where I'm most passionate about helping because there's so many different things you could do, I guess.
I love it, man. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, make sure that it's coming from the heart.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. And yeah, if you're doing charity, let me know how I can help. I'm always willing to
I think
help.
it'll be animal-based. I love animals, dude.
Love that,
That's
man.
like my soft spot, or maybe ocean-based.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Clean
As
up
long
some
as you
oceans.
care about it and you love it, that's what matters.
Yeah, I think those two are like, you can generally just see the results. Because my thing with charity is like, because I donate to some.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel fulfilling. Like, it's like they just get the money and you don't see anything happen.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's one thing that I am really careful about before I donate money is I want to make sure exactly where every penny is going. And it's not paying someone's salary.
Right.
That is getting paid $10 million a year to run a nonprofit. You know what I mean? Like I'm always very selective, and that's actually why I started with Beast Philanthropy. And I'm sure you have a question about.
Yeah,
about
I saw
that
the video
project.
where you donated 20,000 shoes, right?
Yes, that was one of the best moments of my life.
That's incredible. So where did you go to do that?
So we went to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Cape Town, and we went to 6 or 7 different. I mean, this was actually a year and a half ago at this point. I think we went to 7 different spots. The closest one to Cape Town was about 45 minutes. But we went to a couple different townships and some like refugee schools. It was. We went to a lot of different places. Actually, some pretty crazy stuff went down when we were there.
Oh yeah, like safety wise.
Safety wise, yeah, I didn't realize that it was so dangerous in some of these places. You know,
Yeah.
these kids are growing up in these really unsafe environments, and I had no idea that it was like that. So
you saw some like kids with weapons and.
not kids with weapons. There was some adults that were very questionable.
Like eyeing you up a little bit, like
Yeah, because we had
Potential.
camera equipment,
Yeah.
and we obviously didn't look like everyone who was there. Just because it's so random. It's not like you can just like make an appointment to go to a township. It's like we were in their space, and that's like where they live. So a lot of them were like, "Oh, who the hell are these guys that just came in?" One of the days was pretty scary, actually. These 2 guys, they were very clearly inebriated. Walked up to us with a weapon
damn,
and
like a machete or
2 guns.
guns out there.
Guns.
Oh
Yep.
wow,
Pretty scary.
that's super scary.
And we were just rushed into the car, and we had to leave. And it was really unfortunate because actually that was one of my favorite places we went. It was like this school for refugee children.
Yeah,
It was like at least 100 kids in a room that's half the size of this room, and the
Wow.
teachers were the sweetest people
that's
I've
a
ever met.
shame.
And we were there for like an hour, and just playing with the kids and giving them their new shoes. They were so happy, and then going outside, and we had a drone.
Yeah.
And all the kids thought it was like the coolest thing ever. So we had to keep flying it up and down just to entertain them. And then these guys came out of nowhere, and we had to leave right away.
Damn.
It was sad. We were gonna at least spend a couple hours there.
That's really sad, man.
It is, yeah. But we were in their space, and we are there to help. But at the same time, it is a different world out there.
Yeah, so I gotta roll security if I ever get out there.
Especially if you want to go into the townships. Yeah, it's definitely eye opening for sure. You know,
Yeah.
because we're so blessed to live where we do, and I mean to see kind of the way some of these people live.
It's definitely an eye opener. So part of my
Yeah.
mission with the podcast actually is to expand internationally and get some stories from like people and places you've never heard of.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Where are you thinking?
I haven't looked anywhere specific yet, but just like any story that's not been told in the mainstream is interesting to me because I want to get their message out, the way they live their lives. So I'm thinking tribal stuff, and
Cool.
definitely Africa's probably on the list.
Yeah, it's honestly, I highly recommend going to Cape Town. It has a very special place in my heart, not only because of the project that we did, but also it is literally one of the most beautiful places on earth.
I've heard that actually.
It is breathtaking. It is unreal.
You travel a lot.
Yeah, I do.
It's one of my favorite things to do in life.
Me too. Me too. I always recommend people should travel more.
100%.
I-
There's
I-
only positives.
Absolutely. You immerse yourself in new culture and people, and it's a wonderful thing, man. But yeah, I highly recommend you should go to Cape Town, and you really get to see there's a lot of stereotypes about Africa and like what it is,
Yeah.
right? And but when you actually are there and you immerse yourself in their culture, it's so beautiful, and it's very different than what we have here. And I mean, I just went to South Africa, which is entirely different than other countries within Africa, but I definitely want to go back and do like a proper safari and like see other parts of Africa. I think it's unreal, man. I
Yeah.
highly recommend
That's
going.
awesome. Where else has stood out to you from your travels?
Well, I'm originally from Eastern Europe, so I love traveling in Europe. Croatia is one of my favorite places in the world.
I've heard it's beautiful.
It is unreal. I've been all around the world, man. I've been to Australia. I've been to parts of Asia. I love Japan. Tokyo is amazing. It's so much fun. I went to China. China was a lot of fun. Where else did I go? I've been to Sydney. Been to Melbourne. Traveled all around Europe. I don't even know how many countries I've been to in Europe, but yeah, I mean, it's just so fascinating, and it really makes you think outside the box. It's like there's so much more than just America
Yeah.
and like American culture, And we get it, the good thing about America is it's such a melting pot of cultures. So you kind of get to get a glimpse. But when you actually travel to that place, like when you have Italian food here, you think it's good, and then you go to Italy and you're like, our Italian food is not bad, but you're here and you're like, wow, this is how they really do it. You
That's
know?
what I tell people about Chinese food here.
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
Oh, it is night and day.
Night and day.
The only place that genuinely I thought was somewhat similar when I was in Shanghai was Din Tai Fung.
Ooh.
And because I went to the original Din Tai Fung when I was in Shanghai, or I don't know if it was the original or the second one or something like that, and genuinely tasted very similar.
Wow.
But everything else I had out there, not even close.
Shout out to the Aria. They got Din Tai Fung in there.
Yeah,
It does taste pretty authentic, I will say.
Oh, man, I think I want to go there right after this.
Dude, I'm down. I got 5 episodes today, and I'll be starving in like 2 hours.
Let's run it, man.
Let's run it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Do you think you'll ever do a face reveal?
You know, I always said that I'll do it at 1 million subscribers.
Okay. What are you at?
I'm sorry?
How many are you at right now?
Around 600K.
Okay.
I think if I posted more consistently, I'd probably get there pretty quickly. But I'm going to stay true to that. Actually, funny enough, when I was you're the first person I'm telling this, but when I was in Africa, I actually filmed 90% of it with my mask off.
Oh.
And that was going to be my face reveal. Like, that's what I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to take away from the fact of, like, I didn't want to take away from what we were doing, you know, because I didn't want the video to be about me. I wanted it to be about giving back and what we wanted to do. But I did mention in the video, once we get to 1 million subscribers, I'll show it. But 90% of the shots, I didn't have a mask on. So that was originally what I was going to do. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll never do it. Maybe I will. If I start posting on YouTube again, it might be inevitable, but I don't know.
Yeah, because people probably think you're some COVID germaphobe. I see you right now.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Well, pre-COVID, I was a weirdo for wearing a mask.
Yeah.
During COVID, it was super normal.
Yeah.
And now post-COVID, I'm a weirdo for wearing a mask.
No, I would judge you if I didn't know you. Like,
in a very different way.
Yeah.
Because before, people were like, why the heck is this guy walking around with the mask on? And then during, I just blended in with everybody.
So you must have loved that time.
Well, I wasn't really going out that much, though, you know. But honestly, I hated it.
Oh, you did?
Just because, I mean, I wear the mask if I'm on camera or if I'm at an event. And, you know, if I did like a sneaker con or something for 9 hours wearing this on my face, I do have facial hair that gets sweaty when I'm wearing this for 9 hours straight.
That was the worst with the mask, bro.
Yeah. And then, you know, I couldn't eat. And so it's pretty brutal. But, you know, I know it's an inherent part of the brand and Yeezy Busta and what it is. So, you know.
Taking one for the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
How do you feel about the current state of the sneaker space? It's changed a lot since you got in, right?
It has changed a lot. No, absolutely. I can't believe that it's been almost a decade.
Yeah.
It'll be 9 years in December since I, you know, started my page. And, you know, sneakers have just become a lot more mainstream and very diluted in the sense that, you know, well, I'll take this back because genuinely I got into the sneaker game late, quote unquote.
So 9 years ago was late.
Yes, because I mean the OGs, like people like, you know, Mayer or Perfect Pair, like the guys that have been collecting forever are the ones that kind of paved the way for sneaker YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was never a sneakerhead knowingly, if that makes sense. Like, you know, when I was in high school, I'd always wanted to, like, I played tennis and soccer in high school, and I always wanted to have the coolest cleats or like the coolest, you know, whatever shoe Federer was wearing or Nadal. Like, I always wanted to have the cool shoe, and that, like, Nadal was like my Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, so I always wanted to have like whatever shoes he was wearing, which was Nikes. And they were called the Court Ballistics, I think. And but the thing that got me into sneaker culture was actually Kanye. You know, I was always a diehard Kanye fan. I loved his music, loved him as an artist, and that's what got me into sneakers because I wanted one of his. I wanted one of his sneakers. I remember I tried to get a pair of Red Octobers in, what was that, 2014 or something.
Those are worth a lot now, right?
Yeah, they go for like 20 grand.
Holy crap.
But yeah, that's a shoe I always wanted and I never could afford. I bought it like I want to say 5-6 years ago as a trophy. You know, I was really happy when I was able to buy those. Still haven't worn them to this day.
Whoa. You think you'll ever wear them at this point?
They're almost like a trophy at this point.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like I almost want to buy like a used pair that I can actually wear. But yeah, I mean, you know, things have changed a lot for sure, and I think it's for the better. I think a lot of people are getting into it. You know, like
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in California, everyone was wearing Converse or Vans. You know, like
Same in Jersey, to be honest.
really,
Yeah, that was common out there.
like where I grew up, it was not a thing to really wear Jordans or anything like that. So I mean, everybody was wearing either flip flops, Converse, or Vans.
I
Like
don't
that-
remember any Jordans
and,
where I grew up.
and you know, a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, I've been wearing Jordans since I was 18 months old." And I'm like, dude, I had immigrant parents that could not afford Jordans for their kid. And also, you know, I didn't grow up watching basketball. So I never really knew too much. But as soon as I got into it, you know, through Yeezys, like that's kind of how everything started. I really started to appreciate it for what it is because I love storytelling. That's one of my favorite things about brands. The reason why I like to invest in a brand or a product is because of the story, you know? So I think that that's one thing that's really unique. And then Kanye's story from being this like rapper to fashion icon to designer to being the first rapper to collaborate with Louis Vuitton, you know, like, because I mean, obviously there was Run DMC with Adidas before, but he did a collaboration with Louis Vuitton that was nuts. And then he had his Bapesta that never came out. And then he had, and then he went over to Nike, and he changed the game, you know.
Right.
Now, you know, things have changed a lot. I mean, Adidas and Yeezy, that partnership was just something that absolutely changed sneakers forever. Like everybody became a sneakerhead after that. But I really started learning more and more about shoes, like Nike SBs and Jordans, and appreciating the history and the stories behind each pair. And that made me a sneakerhead, you know. So I was maybe like 18, 19, but a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you haven't been wearing sneakers since you were 8, so you can't be a sneakerhead." But I think that that's wrong. You know, I think people can get into hobbies when they're 8 or when they're 80. It doesn't really matter as long as they love it and they have an appreciation for it. And it's not just like, "Oh yeah, I'm just wearing these because I want to look cool." It's more, I'm wearing these because I'm a huge fan of the person that designed them, or I'm a huge fan of the message it sends. You know? So I think that that's what it is. And obviously, you know, I started when I was 18, or I think I was 17 when I started my page. And, you know, I mean, I've grown up a lot. I'm 27 now. So, you know, it's a lot of maturing. I definitely have learned a lot throughout the last 9 years of doing this. But yeah, I mean, things have changed a lot.
Absolutely.
But in a good way. I think a lot of people say it's in a bad way, and I'm probably going to get some hate for saying that, but it's okay. I mean, I think it's important for everyone to have the opportunity to wear what they like.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's important to educate people on why they should like something and not just make it about money. Like, oh, these are expensive. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that was part of the negative stigma, was those bots and those resellers.
Yeah.
They bought up hundreds of pairs and then the price went up, right? And then they sold them.
Well, you know, everyone has a love-hate relationship with bots, right? Because you can hate on them all day, but then when you get one, you love it.
Yeah.
You know,
I was trying to get into it, but it was kind of complicated.
it's not easy.
You need a VPN and so.
Man, it's not easy. I think I tried when I first got into sneakers because I just wanted to get one pair for me, and it just didn't work. And you know, the funny thing is resellers and sneakers go hand in hand, right? Because I mean, there is desire for highly sought after things, right? That's just how it works, supply and demand. So I mean, if things weren't selling out as quick as they should have been, the price goes down, nobody wants them. And now that's my problem with sneaker culture now, is that now all these SBs are coming out that, you know, some people argue there's too many coming out and there isn't a story, or it's not like done the right way. But there's also the other side, which is like, if this shoe came out 3 years ago, you would be drooling over it because it was so rare and crazy. But now, because it's 3 years later, you don't like it. It's like, what? You know what I mean? So at that point, is it just a trend?
Yeah, it's psychological at that point.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many shoes. And now I only buy sneakers that I'm going to wear. Like, I have a rule. If I buy a pair of shoes and I don't wear them in the first week, I'm selling them.
Wow.
Just because in my head, why just have them just sit in the closet when somebody else can appreciate them? And I started doing a live show every Saturday, and I always, bless people as best I can. I don't pay retail for everything either,
Right.
but sometimes when I buy a shoe, I'll, sell it for less than I paid for, or to, have somebody else enjoy it.
Yeah. So
So-
did the value on these like tank when the Yeezy thing happened?
Which one? What do
Like
you-
when the Yeezy Adidas partnership disbanded, did the value of the shoes tank?
So a lot of people thought that the value was going to go up, but because of the way the whole deal was structured, essentially Adidas kept all the shoes and they kind of did whatever they wanted with them, which recently I think they started doing 60% off sales on
Oh my
Yeezys
gosh.
just to dump all the product.
Damn.
Because I think they were sitting on a couple $100 million in inventory,
Yeah, I
which was
remember that.
nuts. So yeah, I mean, now Yeezys are very easily attainable. There are a few that still cost a lot of
Yeah.
money, especially the Nike ones.
So how much are they now? Like $80?
Depends. It depends. Like you can get foam runners for like $80,
Wow.
like which is like retail. When the first foam runner came out, they were like $1,000.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
So they're
like
down 90%.
yeah, but there's so many different colors and releases now. But I think there aren't many shoes that never retroed, which means they re-released.
Yeah.
Like the Oxford Tan Yeezy 350, for example, that was like one of the original 4 350s. Those never re-released, or the Moon Rocks also never re-released. But the Pirate Blacks and the Turtle Doves did. So it was crazy. Like a pair of Turtle Doves, which was the first 350 that Kanye put out with Adidas, used to go for like $3,000.
Yeah.
And you can buy the original one for around like 600.
Wow.
And you could buy the re-release for like $300. So
Damn.
it's a pretty drastic.
Yeah. I wonder if Kanye will be able to revive that brand to these higher prices.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's doing his own thing now. So I mean,
So he's done with Yeezy?
oh yeah, like that happened. When was that? Like a year and a half ago, something like that. I mean, he came out and said some crazy stuff. So Adidas just dropped them,
Wow.
and then basically they were left with all the inventory, and they still had rights to the name, which is pretty crazy.
That
to
is
think about.
crazy because Kanye started it.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's also another thing that you can go into with like brands too. Like Roger Federer didn't own his logo, his RF logo.
Really?
Nike did.
What?
Same thing with Kawhi Leonard with his like
He doesn't
logo
own
with
the
Nike.
claw?
I don't know if he does now, but at first, like Nike's like, no, we're not going to do that. Adidas essentially did the same thing with Kanye. But yeah, I mean, Kanye's doing his own thing. But I mean, honestly, in a weird way, he did exactly what he wanted to, because he wanted everyone to have Yeezys. And he was kind of getting throttled by the brands, because the brands were saying, no, we can't make it readily available for everybody.
Right. Reminds me of Elon Musk with Tesla.
Yeah,
He made the price point so affordable where now you could get one for $20,000
it's crazy.
for a good quality car, honestly.
Oh yeah,
For that price.
I have a Tesla. I love it.
I have a Model 3, yeah.
Yeah, they're the best.
For the price, yeah, I'm not complaining at all.
100%.
You know, those used to be $70,000.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I
That's
feel
what-
bad for the people that paid
That's
that
me, but it's all good. I wasn't going to sell it anyways. You know, I'm going to
For
drive
sure.
it till the wheels fall off. But
100%, man.
it's all good, dude. Shout out to Elon and Kanye. They revolutionized their industries.
Absolutely, and Kanye's had his moments for sure, and said some crazy stuff. But I mean,
That's what makes him him.
that's what makes him him. Yeah, he really is. I mean, and this is the thing. You can like someone, not agree with everything that comes out of their mouth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he said some crazy stuff, but he was always. I think the way that he got so big and so popular and has maintained his relevancy over the years is he was so like anti-cool. So whatever was cool, he'd do the opposite, and then he would make it cool.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like back then, it was like pink polos and backpacks. Nobody was wearing polos with the collar flipped up,
Right.
but he made it cool.
He always
and
went against the grain.
exactly, and that's what he did his whole career. Like even 808s and Heartbreak, like nobody would use an 808 drum because it was kind of corny to use it, because
Right.
it's just such a simple sound. But he revolutionized music through that album by using 808s. And then, I mean, even, he made a gospel album and made it cool. Like Jesus is King is one of my favorite Kanye projects. I think it's amazing. And it's so funny because like nobody would ever view a gospel album as like cool or mainstream, you
Right.
know? It's just something you'd listen to in church, or someone who's like very religious would listen to it. But he kind of went against the grain too. But then I feel like, he went through a phase where he tried to go a little too far against the grain.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, he's back now. I mean, his new album was actually great.
I didn't see it here yet, actually.
It's good. Vultures 2 is really
Nice.
good.
I'll check it
I
out.
have some buddies working for him now too, which is pretty amazing. Shout out, you know who you are.
Love it, man. I love it. I
Yeah.
will say he is so entertaining. Anytime he goes on a podcast, I'll listen to it immediately.
Oh yeah, you never know what he's gonna say.
You never know.
Yeah.
I got to see him on Shannon Sharp. I think that'd be a great setting for him
Oh wow,
to
yeah,
speak his truth.
that would be.
You know,
That'd be cool.
people get comfortable on that show.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting.
So how big is your portfolio? Do you ever disclose how many sneakers you own?
So, okay, so a few years ago, at one point, I had like maybe 500 or 600 pairs of shoes.
Holy crap!
It was a lot, but not as many as like some crazy collectors that I know. I've sold a lot of them because you know I kind of made that rule where it's like if I'm not going to wear this, I don't want to just keep it in my closet.
Yeah,
But you know what was great was sneakers actually kind of became like a, you know, like
an asset.
an asset, yeah, in the collectible world, kind of like a Pokemon card, you know. So that was nice. And you know, but now it made me appreciate my sneakers even more because the ones I kept are the ones I really care about. One of the only ones that I kept that I have not worn that breaks my rule is the Red Octobers because they mean so much to me. You know,
Right. That's like a sentimental thing for you.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah, it's like a milestone in your life almost, right?
exactly, yeah. I mean, I think now I might be at like it's crazy over 100 for sure, but
That's still a lot.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But honestly, I wear my slides more than anything, and then I bought these Nikes. I can't remember what they're called. They're like the Pegasus or something. They're the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn.
Yeah.
They're amazing. I wear them every single day.
I would wear slides everywhere if I could.
Oh, yeah,
But
same.
certain spots you can't, like restaurants. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
on shoes. It's annoying.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love slides though, dude. Like
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
for
Right?
real. You still follow tennis at all?
I do.
I'm big on tennis, dude.
Oh, really?
Who's your goat in tennis?
So I mean, it's inevitable that Novak Djokovic
Yeah.
is the GOAT of tennis. But for how he revolutionized the sport, I think Roger Federer is like the Kanye or the Elon or the Tiger Woods of
Right.
tennis.
So graceful.
Exactly. And he is incredible. But actually, my favorite player on the tour is Taylor Fritz.
Okay, he's doing good this year.
He's a good friend of mine.
Nice.
So, you know, always got to support the home team no matter what. Him and I grew up playing together, actually.
Oh, nice. So
We
you
al-
were good then.
I was okay. He was substantially better than me. I mean, clearly he's a pro now, but yeah, I mean, he works his ass off.
Yeah.
And he's a grinder, and he deserves every accolade he's gotten in the last few years. I actually watched him win the BNP Paribas Open in Palm Springs.
Wow,
that was
that's
a really
cool, dude.
Really cool moment. He actually got me 4 tickets to the final, which was pretty amazing.
Nice.
That was like a childhood dream of mine to win that tournament, and I almost lived my childhood dream through him.
Vicariously.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
And but yeah, I was so happy for him, and I mean, he deserves it, and he's playing great. So
He's playing amazing. He's the first American player in a while that's given me hope
yeah,
because I can't remember. It's been a while. Maybe James Blake, Andre Agassi. It's been a long time. Andy Roddick, but
oh man,
there
yeah.
hasn't really been a good American past
Yeah,
10, 15 years.
I mean, who do we have now? We have Taylor, we have Big Foe, right? Tiafoe.
Yeah, Tiafoe.
And we got
Eisner's old now, so he's
Tommy Paul.
probably walking out soon.
Oh, Isner. Yeah.
Isner,
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, the guy's a beast.
He
too.
peaked late though, I will say that.
He did. He had a great run, and then we had Sam Querrey. Who else? I don't even remember. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome to see someone that I played against when I was a kid be on the
Yeah,
on the
that
tour.
must be surreal because he's pushing top 5 now, right?
He's I think he broke top 5 at one point.
Wow.
But he's like I think he's like 12.
Holy
or
crap.
13, which is still like
Still insane.
unreal.
Yeah. My favorite player is Kyrgios.
Oh yeah.
He's a controversial one though.
He is. I mean, I think that guy is probably the most talented tennis
So
player
talented.
of all time, but he just mentally is not there.
Yeah.
And tennis is 90% mental.
If he didn't have those vices, man, he would be different.
Exactly.
But he also says that makes him who he is, so it's kind of hard to argue.
That is true. I mean, tennis is a lot like poker, funny enough.
Yeah.
Or like boxing in the sense that it's so mental. Like you can be not as good as the person across the court or across the table or across the ring, but if you get in their head,
Yeah, if you can
a wrap.
outlast him, just annoy them, because it's a 5-set match. It's a 3-4 hour match.
exactly.
Like it's a chess game.
I mean, all you have to do is just pick apart one little thing, either mentally or physically, and then they'll
Yeah.
just collapse, and then it's game over.
And that's why Djokovic is a beast, because he's not the most athletic player.
Oh, he's have you seen that guy do a split?
Well, yeah, he's flexible, but I meant in the sense of like power and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But he just knows how to like dissect opponents, like you said.
Absolutely, yeah. He is a beast. He is incredible. I mean, without a doubt, on paper, it's kind of like the thing with like Michael Jordan and LeBron, right? Jordan is like the Roger Federer,
Yeah.
right? Kind of revolutionized the sport and what it is, and then Djokovic is the LeBron, like
Absolutely.
undoubtedly, points wise and everything.
Yeah, I didn't think we talked tennis today. That was fun, dude.
I didn't think so either.
What are you working on next, man? Where can people find you and the YouTube and everything?
So if you guys want to find me, it's just at Yeezy Busta on everything. But I'm working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. A lot of charity projects are coming up. I definitely want to do some more with Beast Philanthropy. Like I said, that whole thing changed my life, and it's incredible. And every penny that I donated to that initiative, they actually matched and then doubled.
Whoa.
So that's how we were able to get 20,000 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
And actually, it's so funny the way the whole thing started was, my buddy Tariq. I got really close with Tariq from like Beast Camp, and I've been talking to him for years about doing a project, like a charity project. And at first, the funny thing is, at first he was like, "You just got to show up to North Carolina and just surprise Jimmy with like 50 pairs of shoes."
Yeah.
And we went back and forth, and we're like, Jimmy's not going to care at all, number one, because he doesn't care about shoes. You know what I mean? He'll just give them away right away because that's how he is. But, and then we started talking about how about instead of giving it to Jimmy, we give it to some underprivileged kids. And then we were like, okay, where should we go? I met Darren, who is an absolute saint on earth from
Yeah.
Beast Philanthropy. And his idea was, let's go to his home country, South Africa, and do it. And yeah, so I want to do some more stuff with Beast Philanthropy. I have a few other projects in the background.
Love it.
I started a digital marketing agency. We have some really amazing clients that I can't talk too much about, but it's been a lot of fun. So
Cool.
working
Link
on
up below for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Appreciate
for coming
you.
on, man. That was a blast. It was great getting to know you.
Likewise,
Good
man.
luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
It's gonna be
sir.
a lot of fun.
Awesome, guys. See you next time. Peace.